Hello everyone, I'm Brooks Gibbs with the Little Lessons of Life. Little stories that teach principles that you can take into your life that truly, if you implement them, can make a difference in the joy of the experience that you find in daily living. It is really a treat to be able to share these stories. I love learning about life through things that I just observe and say, what lesson is that teaching me? So today, I get to share the story of the tree. A tree. What are you talking about? A tree. What is it that a tree can teach you? Well, I learned a lesson one day when I was at my home and just sitting looking out the window. It was a spring morning, and I looked out and I saw this tree sitting there. I thought, that is really an amazing thing this tree is. It's beautiful. And it sits there and grows, and so I get to go learn from the tree. What in the heck was I thinking? That's what I hear you asking. How can you learn from a tree? Well, literally, what I did is I walked out, boom, 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 and I sat down in front of that tree. And I cleared my thoughts and my breathing and said, I'm here to learn from you, tree. What is it that you have to teach me? What was amazing is my mind absolutely began to be flooded with the ideas of what a tree had to teach me in a little lesson of life. Now, as I sat there and looked at this tree, I realized that it had a beautiful, big, thick, strong trunk. And if I looked at that trunk, it sunk down into the earth. It was grounded, it was held, it was solid. Its roots went deep, deep into the ground so that it could hold and it could pull up the nutrients that it needed to support the growth that was outside of that. And that whatever was above the ground was also down below, but it was rooted and it was strong. And what I learned from that is that for me, I get to be rooted, firm, and strong in my purpose, who I am. Why am I here, and how do I show up? What are my values? What do I strive to live and be every day and every moment? That's my roots. That's what I hold on to. That's my core values. They hold me strong. In whatever comes in the environment, I'm firm where I'm at. And that's what the tree taught me about its roots. Be your purpose. Be strong, be grounded, be rooted. Don't move from those, because it is your life blood and holds you and sustains you to be rooted in that purpose. I thought, wow, that is really an amazing element to learn. So as I looked at this tree, I saw the amazing portion of this tree, that it grew up and then it started to spread forth. And spread forth to where it had these branches that were out there. But everything was moving up. It was up. And what was it moving towards? It was moving towards the light. I thought, wow, that's really very interesting. What is that? Well, the light is a source of energy. It's a source that gives power, purpose, and direction to the tree. And so it's stretching forth to bring in as much of that life-giving light as possible into its life. Because the light is energy. And it is striving in every moment, in every day, to stretch and be the absolute most of its purpose as it stretches towards the light. And I pondered that. And I recognized that for me, what that meant to be like the tree is every day, am I striving to live my purpose, to stretch for the light, for those things that I know are true, are valuable, are good, serve a purpose of sharing kindness, love, direction? Am I striving to be the fullness of who I am in every moment? Because it's in being my fullness that I create the beauty for the rest of the environment around me. That I provide back to the world that I'm drawing from that which is needed for it to exist and be its fullness. So, the tree taught me the lesson. Be your fullness. Stretch towards the light in everything you do. Know who you are. Be rooted in that and stretch forth to be the most powerful portion of that you can be. Excuse me. Then I looked at the tree and I watched out, and I saw that as the tree got out, the branches and leaves, they moved and they swayed with the wind. The wind would change and the light, things would change, and it could move any direction. I thought, wow, that's really interesting. What is the lesson to be taught there? And what came to me in my mind was, you are rooted in your purpose and you're stretching forth to be the most that you can, but you live in an environment that is constantly changing and things are swirling around you. Now, if you were to be rigid in that environment, you'd snap and break. But if you're flexible in your environment, you can move with the environment and yet not change what you're rooted to. You allow others to be their purpose and their value and to move and sway with them without changing your roots, your purpose, and your direction. But you move in the environment that you're with. Because if you're not flexible in your environment, you will break and you will lose the life that you deserve. So what did that teach me? Being flexible in my relationships. We don't always think the same, but it doesn't mean that our roots are completely different. My thoughts, my actions, at work, wherever I'm at, in whatever relationship, whether it's work, people, places, or things, be open to allowing them to be what they are without changing my roots. Be mindful to be flexible in the moment and firm in my conviction. Don't change my conviction or who or what I'm rooted to, but allow others to see and be what they are. Doesn't mean I have to transplant myself and be in their garden. So those are the principles that the tree taught me. Another little lesson of life. Root yourself firmly into who you are and why you're here. Stretch to be the fullness of your potential every day. Be flexible in your relationships and in your environment. If you will do those three things, you will find that in your life you will have greater joy, greater happiness, greater purpose. Just be the tree. I'm Brooks Gibbs, and this is a lesson of life that I share with you.